defend the Constitution of the United States.
So help you God?
So help me God.
I've come here to Ghana for a simple reason. The 21st century will be shaped by what happens not just in Rome or Moscow or Washington, but by what happens in Accra as well. Africa's future is up to Africans. The people of Africa are ready to claim that future. And here is what you must know. The world will be what you make of it. You have the power to hold your leaders accountable and to build institutions that serve the people. You can serve in your communities and harness your energy and education to create new wealth and build new connections to the world. You can conquer disease and end conflicts and make change from the bottom up. You can do that. Yes, you can. Because in this moment, history is on the move, but these things can only be done if all of you take responsibility for your future. And it won't be easy. It will take time and effort. There will be suffering and setbacks, but I can promise you this: America will be with you every step of the way, as a partner, as a friend.
Nearly 4 years into his presidency, Africa remains as inconsequential as ever. Many in North Africa and Middle East wonder what became of Obama's vow in a landmark 2009 speech at the University of Cairo to forge a closer relationship with the Muslim world. In the entire African continent, hopes still linger in a world weary of war and economic crisis and concerned about global climate change. The consensus is that Obama has not lived up to the lofty expectations that surrounded his 2008 election and Nobel Peace Prize a year later. Many in Africa and perhaps other regions of the world were also taken aback by his support for gay marriage, a taboo subject among religious conservatives.
For a lot of people, the word marriage was something that evokes very powerful traditions, religious beliefs, and so forth. But I have to tell you that over the course of several years, as I talk to friends and family and neighbors, when I think about members of my own staff who are in incredibly committed monogamous relationships, same-sex relationships, who are raising kids together, when I think about those soldiers or airmen or Marines or sailors who are out there fighting on my behalf and yet feel constrained, even now that Don't Ask, Don't Tell is gone, because they're not able to commit themselves in a marriage. At a certain point, I've just concluded that for me personally, it is important for me to go ahead and affirm that I think same-sex couples should be able to get married.
Much could be done to the Africans. I mean, the Obama administration did not fulfill 100% of what they had for the Africans, but they, I would say, fulfilled 75 to 80% of what the Africans demands from them. But of course, they had to pay attention to other parts of the world, and they had to pay attention to some other demands by other regions, and to the rising problems like and taking into consideration also the effects of the financial and economic crisis, the food crisis, the energy crisis, all those crises that limit the ability of the United States of doing what maybe the administration would have wanted to do. We're not relieving them from their responsibility to Africa, and we would always say that we expect more to be done to African countries. But what I'm saying is that what they have been implementing as administration is good, but it could get better.
What are, in specific ways, what are the shortfalls of Obama's Africa policy?
The shortfalls of the Obama administration is the four shortfalls. First, related to the issue of dedicating 0.7% of the GNP for support as ODA, as official developmental assistance. The United States does not recognize this. And even though they are spending more on certain countries in bilateral aid, but they do not follow the pattern of 0.7% for developing country in ODA. And they do not, they give support bilaterally to LDCs. You know, out of the 48 countries, LDCs, we have 39 countries from Africa. And the fact that 0.15% of the GNP should have gone to the Africans, LDCs as well. This did not really materialize, or you cannot capture it. Maybe the money is spent, but it is not being put within the implementation of this particular one. Other issues are related to the implementation of the MDGs. I mean, I think that there could have been a lot better support for the achievements of the MDGs, particularly poverty eradication in Africa, which there is much more attention to AIDS, HIV, to chronic diseases, to maternal health, to child mortality. But on the issue of poverty, we need a lot of attention to be given to Africa, which I think the United States, even though they are shifting into giving more attention in this regard, they need to do more of that.
The African vote, typically, very few vote. They're not motivated. They're not part of the process. So very few vote. I mean, we just have to say like it is. Like it is, most of us are now involved in the process. So what I learned, especially from this great country, America, is that you need to show your worth. You need to go get what you think you deserve.
Most American presidents, and I would say including Obama, may not take any stand against Israel without losing considerable support in the US itself. The Israeli lobby in the US is truly powerful, and they can determine who wins and who loses in elections.
I can, for example, take one sector or one domain which is priority for Gabon is environment, all the issues of protection of Central African tropical forests. You know that President Ali Bongo Ondimba has articulated a development vision resting on 3 pillars: developing industry, developing the service sector, and developing what he called Green Gabon.
I think it's a miss of communication and language barrier. If they explain us the way Africans have to vote, communicate with us, make us understand what is going on, be in touch with them, I think they can vote.
Well, just look at Africa today. One of the fastest growing regions in the world, home to 6, soon to be 7 of the world's 10 fastest growing economies. In the past decade, trade between Africa and the rest of the world has tripled. Private foreign investment has surpassed official aid.